Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Ray. This is your Ashkin. Today's video is to identify what kind of a learner you are. So we are going to discover your learning style. So as an individual, each of us have different preferences for learning materials. And in this video, we are going to identify what kind of a learner you are and which is the most preferred way of your learning. And why should I find this out? Why should I find out? If you are learning materials in your most preferred way, it makes the learning the most enjoyable experience. And you would also take it very light. It is not at all stressful. Okay. So let's discover your learning styles in this video. So this video has a quick assessment to identify the learning style. And that comes in 3 parts. So quickly take a paper and pen and get ready for an assessment. Yeah. I hope all of you are ready with a paper and pen. So the first part. Okay, so we are going to divide the whole test into 3 parts and we are going to score it separately. Let's start with part 1. The first question. I like to color code my schedules or timetables. And if you would like to do this always, give a score of 2. And if you would like to do it sometimes, give a score of 1. No, I don't like to do it. I don't do it at all. Then give yourself a score of 0 and you have 5 seconds to answer this. Wow, that's great answering. So let's move on to the next statement. I enjoy activities that are to be done with arts and designs. So same way, 2 for always, 1 for sometimes and 0 for not at all. And your 5 seconds starts now. Awesome. So let's move on to the next. I like to draw mind pictures when I learn something new. So rate yourself 2, 1 and 0. Your 5 seconds starts. Wow, that's great. So let's move on to the next one. I like to choose things based on their visual effects such as color, size, textures and all. So give yourself a score of 2 for always, 1 for sometimes and 0 for not at all. And your 5 seconds starts here. Great. So this is an end of part 1. So what I want you to do is add up all the scores that you have got and keep it separately. Okay. So now you have a score of part 1. So let's move on to the next segment, part 2. Here, I remember things better when it was done rather than seeing or reading instructions. So give yourself a point of 2 for always liking to do that, 1 for sometimes and 0 for not at all. And your 5 seconds starts here. Great. Now let's move on to the second one. I like to fix and solve puzzles. That is, I like to solve problems by doing it. So give yourself a score of 2 for always preferring that method, 1 for sometimes preferring this and 0 for not at all. And your 5 seconds here. Great. So let's move on to the next one. I enjoy activities involving my hand and leg movements such as dance, sports. So give yourself a score of 2 for always, 1 for sometimes and 0 for not at all. And your 5 seconds starts here. Awesome. Let's move on to the next. I like to show actions or gestures when I read or talk. 2 for always, 1 for sometimes, 0 for not at all. Please mark your score and your 5 seconds starts here. Great. So now we are done with the second part. So add up all the scores only on part 2 and keep it separate. So right now you have a score for part 1. You have a score for part 2. So now we are going to move to the part 3. Let's move on. I enjoy music, tunes, rhythms or hums. 2 for always, 1 for sometimes and 0 for not at all. Your 5 seconds. Fabulous. Let's move on. I enjoy talking to others, explanations and discussions. Give yourself a score of 2 for always doing it or always liking it, 1 for sometimes I do like to do, and 0 for not at all. And the 5 seconds starts. Wonderful. Next question. I like to talk to myself when I'm solving a problem. So when I solve a problem, I like to talk or give instructions to myself. 2. If you do it always. 1. I do it sometimes. And 0. No, I don't do it at all. And your 5 seconds starts here. Fantabulous. And the last part. I remember names better than remembering faces. Yes, I do tend to remember the names of people, but seriously, I can't recognize or remember their faces exactly. Yeah. So if you do have this kind of behavior, or if you have like this kind of pattern, give 2 for always and 1 for sometimes and 0 for not at all. And 5 seconds starts here. Great. Awesome. So, now we are done with part 3. So, add up all the 4 questions or the 4 points that come for all the 4 questions. And your part 3 total score is ready. Yes. So, now we got separate scores for part 1, part 2 and part 3. So, this would give you an overall idea of your learning style. So, let's look what does it mean. Okay. So, let's calculate it. When you look at these 3 parts, find out which is the most highly rated scale or highly rated part. So which part has more scores? Where did you score high? So for example, if you are scored high on the first part, then that means you are a visual learner. That means you like to learn through visuals, diagrams, pictures and all that. So you are a visual learner. And if at all your score is high on part 2, then you are a kinesthetic learner. That means you involve in learning through movements. And the third part, if your score is high on the third part, that means you are an auditory learner. So you like to listen, you like to talk, and you like to listen and have an interaction, and you like that way of learning. So then you are an auditory learner. So these are the 3 preferred learning styles that we have identified from your questions, from our questions and your answers. So watch out our next video to know more in detail about these learning styles and the learning preferences and what are the teaching ways that we could be incorporating it. Okay. See you all in our next video. Thanks for watching this video. If you find this video useful, please like, subscribe and share our video. Press the bell icon so that you don't miss any ray from our channel. Spread the rays.